Guidry. The floor is yours.
Thank you. And good morning to the members of the committee. I would like to thank Senator Cassidy and Senator Kennedy for their kind remarks earlier today. I would also like to thank President Trump and Vice President Pence for nominating me to the Federal District Court. Senator Cassidy has already introduced to you my family, but I have to acknowledge once again my wife, Kathy. Kathy was born in Bloomington, Indiana, grew up in Toronto. We met when I was studying overseas. She is an emergency room nurse, an incredible mother to our 2 children, and has provided me with unfailing love and support throughout our marriage and my legal career. I wish my parents could be here today, but unfortunately they passed away this past year. My father, Orsteel Guidry, served as a first lieutenant in the Air Force. He was a lifelong educator, teacher, coach, principal, school board member in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. My mother, Lorraine Guidry, was a devoted wife for 64 years, loving mother of 3, grandmother of 5, and great-grandmother of our first grandchild, Charlie, who could not be here today. It comforts me that she was able to meet Charlie and that both of my parents were aware that my nomination was pending before they passed away. I'd like to briefly mention my brother and sister. My parents were very proud of them. My brother, Gavin, is a retired lieutenant colonel from the U.S. Army, an Iraq war veteran, and Senator Kennedy currently runs the ROTC program at Bogalusa High School in Washington Parish. My sister, like my father, was a lifelong educator as well. It has been the honor of a lifetime to have been trusted by the people of Louisiana to serve as a Supreme Court Justice, Appellate Court Judge, District Court Judge, and I look forward to the opportunity to continue to serve them as a District Court Judge at the Federal District Court. I look forward to answering your questions today, and I thank you very much for this opportunity.
Judge Guidry, why would you want to go from the Supreme Court of Louisiana to be a federal district judge?
Well, Senator Graham, as you mentioned at the outset, I have had many jobs in my life, in my career, and I've been blessed to have wonderful jobs.
Very impressive resume, by the way.
Thank you, and I've enjoyed all of them tremendously. When I was a federal prosecutor, it was the treat of a lifetime to walk into a courtroom on a regular basis and say, I'm here today to represent the United States of America. It's a wonderful feeling, and I never quite got over that. I still miss it to this day. I left being a federal prosecutor to become a judge, and I've enjoyed that as well. District Court for 6 years, 2 years at the State Court of Appeals, now at the State Supreme Court. They're all very different. The role of a judge in each situation is very different. I look forward to getting back to the courtroom. I look forward to the action that you have in the courtroom. I look forward to helping people navigate through very difficult times in their lives. You know, when someone is in court, it may be a very small case in the big scheme of things, but to the people there, it's the most important thing in their life. And also, I loved working with juries. When jurors are there, they're in the judge's care. They need to be treated well. They need to be treated with respect. All of that is very fulfilling. So I look forward to getting back to that. Not that I will not miss my job on the Supreme Court. I'm blessed to be part of a good court, a great group of colleagues who I believe might be watching today from the conference room in New Orleans. And it would be a sad day to leave, but I think this is a new opportunity for me.
Very, very different things. Mr. Guidry, could you, Judge Guidry, I'm sorry, could you, as a response for the record, explain to us the Judicial Campaign Oversight Committee's statements that a leaflet you put out, that statements in a leaflet you put out were in violation of the state's Code of Judicial Conduct, and the Times-Picayune report that your critics accuse you of not, quote, always towing the ethical line, and your apparent use of judicial stationery to solicit volunteers for your political Supreme Court Campaign Finance Committee?
I'll be more than happy to supply an answer to that question for the record.
Great. I appreciate that. That's what we need. I hope that if you are confirmed, you will all fight for your juries. I was glad, Mr. Guidry, that you mentioned the importance of that.
Justice.
Senator, I agree that it's completely appropriate for the United States Supreme Court or for a state Supreme Court to point out an issue to the legislative body and invite them to address it. In fact, we have done that on occasion in the Louisiana Supreme Court, because ultimately it would be the role of the legislative body to remedy the error or the lack of clarity that you're describing.
Judge, we're going to miss you on the Supreme Court in Louisiana. We've got a great Supreme Court, and you've made it stronger.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I have enjoyed every moment of it.
I know you have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.